top 10 decks that were only good in Master Duel. Well, as a Master Duel only player, I'm really curious about what is only good here and wasn't good anywhere else. So let's see.
Master Duel is its own unique format, combining elements of the TCG and OCG ban lists with a different release schedule and a best-of-one ladder. Because of that, some decks that never
I'm already thinking, like a deck like Crook Cook will never be good in a best-of-3 format. Because this thing is only good for taking your opponent by surprise, right? So they will side decking already makes the game so much different. So yeah.
shined on paper, managed to find a real place here. So today we're going to look at some of the decks that stood out specifically in Master Duel. And starting off our list at number 10, we have Pure Azamina.
Pure Azamina is not good, and this is not something that I expected. Interesting. Wait, what is Pure Azamina? Are we talking White Forest? What are we talking about?
This is an archetype that rarely had the chance to stand on its own, because as part of a larger Sinful Spoil storyline, it was clearly designed to work alongside the other cards from that lore. Generally, the archetype summons its fusion monster by using Sinful Spoil cards in place of materials, and it's more widely used as a small engine, with Duel Star the Black Witch being a one-card combo into the Omni-Negate Azamina Lilia Sylvia. But in Master Duel, thanks to a small detail on the ban list, there is a completely different way to play these cards. The idea behind Pure Azamina is really simple. Thanks to both Reasoning and Monster Gate being at 3 copies, you can use them to send multiple spells and traps, including Sinful Spoil ones, to the graveyard. This helps fulfill the condition for Duel Star Vengeance, and gives you better odds of summoning a Saint Azamina on turn 1.
Dude, Elsa Vengeance doesn't feel like a real card. It's like when the right conditions appear, like this card feels like so OP. But like most of the time it's just like a nothing card. So funny.
Which then starts cheating out the other Azamina fusions to extend your plays or improve your end board. To make sure your spells can mill a good number of cards, some versions of the deck play a minimal monster count, usually 3 copies of which and 1 Vengeance for Reasoning, alongside monsters that don't interfere with the plan too much, like Lava Golem. The deck is also very good at using generic spells like Super Polymerization or Forbidden Droplet. Under the right boards, Super Poly can even speed up the process of bringing out Saint Azamina. And if you forego playing Duel's the White Witch, Dominus Impulse becomes very easy to include, with every other engine piece being Dark Attribute. A common characteristic you'll see across this list is that Master Duel, being mainly best of 1, gives an edge to decks with unexpected win conditions or unusual angles.
Wait, what is this unexpected win condition? This is a Flute Gate? Is this, or is the other one the Flute Gate? But everything once control cannot be destroyed by card effects. Each time your opponent Oh yeah, I remember. Each time your opponent activates a card or effect, all monsters they control lose 500 attack. When it resolves, your opponent cannot activate effects of monster with 0 attack. Yep.
Most players are not prepared to play without targeting their own cards under Saint Azamina.
That's the one that completely destroys Sky Striker, for example. Right? Like, what am I supposed to do if I cannot target anything? Like, everything targets. Like, what's it called? Kagari, right? Needs to target the engage from the graveyard. So, yeah, it's insane that you cannot activate like those cards. Heke Hands is feeling touchy. Hello, Gravilad. Okay, that name is so fitting. Oh my god.
And there's no side decking on ladder to punish your deck building choices after game 1. And at number 9, we have Banquet FTK. Rather than calling this a deck that is better in Master Duel, it's more accurate to say this is a deck that could only truly exist in a best of 1 format like...
What is this the one that banishes your whole extra deck, right? And then you just summon like Grand Maya or something. Or I don't know. There's like some meme cards like that. I'm gonna grab some Minas, nice.
Master Duel. For years, Banquet FTK has existed at the margins of the game with its unusual way of winning. So how does it work? The main cards that allow this deck to exist are Banquet of Millions, a normal trap that can banish any number of cards from your extra deck face down, and then banish the same number of random face down cards from your opponent's extra deck face up until the end phase. And DD Dynamite.
Yeah, this is way better actually. Yeah, you just inflict a bunch of damage with this. Yeah.
Trap which deals 300 damage to your opponent for each of their banished cards. This means that with 2 copies of Dynamite, you have 9,000 points of damage to kill your opponent before they even
9,000.
reach their main phase. With such a small combo pool needed to win the game, the rest of the deck is filled with cards that help you reach those pieces. The deck maxes out on copies of Chicken Game, Into the Void, and Dark World Dealings for maximum draw power. And the only monster it plays is Lilith, Lady of Lament, whose effect can tribute a dark monster, including herself, to reveal 3 normal traps from your deck and make your opponent randomly choose one for you to set. With only one monster, Reasoning becomes a powerful option that can also mill cards like Transaction Rollback and Trampolizing Tune, giving you more ways to reach your win condition. As with any deck looking to exploit trap cards, Trap Trick becomes a must-include to fix your combo. And in this deck in particular, Trap-Holic is also a powerful consistency boost to fetch whatever you need to close out the game.
I have to say it, I'm so sorry, but this is a very cringe deck. Very cringe. The dynamite all of those Master Duel bots. Yeah, it's like a bot thing to do. It's like not really, you don't really play Yu-Gi-Oh with this. This deck doesn't play Yu-Gi-Oh. Build a deck as a funny going second. This only works going first. How are you gonna, if you're playing like all like shitty bad cards, what are you gonna do going second? The opponent is gonna be able to see this coming and set a negate. I guess they could, if they don't have it, they wouldn't let you play, right? If they have like a proper meta end board. No, not really. It depends on the deck, I guess. That's why it's funny. I don't know. I don't know about that one.
Its condition of needing 3 more traps in the grave to use the trap you set can be easily fulfilled with Paleozoic Morella, which acts as 2 traps by itself. Morella can even be used as another way to close out games by sending Transaction Rollback directly to the graveyard. As you can see, with a win condition that only needs 3 cards, you have numerous ways to reach 9,000 damage.
FTKs are only funny when they are bad. Yeah, I guess when it's unexpected and it's like, oh, nobody saw that coming, right? It's like, okay, well, I see, but like, it's still annoying. I don't know.
But probably the most annoying thing about this deck is that it barely interacts with hand traps, with only Ash Blossom and Joy Spring and Drone Lockbird being able to meaningfully disrupt the combo. Years ago, one of the solutions players found to deal with this deck was to simply lower their extra deck size to 13, making it impossible to burn them for game with 2 DD Dynamites.
Interesting.
Fortunately, this deck has some unavoidable weaknesses as well. The main combo is centered around a semi-limited card, and it's basically impossible to win when going second. But above everything else,
there it is. It's impossible to win going second. I know he didn't say that, but you know, he basically did.
Kinda boring to play after a couple of games. With only one way to win the match, you end up boiling the game down to a literal coin flip. And even then, you're not 100% guaranteed to win. At the end of the day, playing a deck where you actually have fun is the thing that makes you stick around with Yu-Gi-Oh! And at number 8, we have...
With a deck like that, no one has fun. Oh my god, there we go, the statues. Dude, these things are so annoying. I don't understand why they are not all banned, honestly.
Barrier Stun. The combination of the TCG and OCG ban list in Master Duel can lead to some cards slipping through the cracks, and this deck only exists because of one of those cases. In Master Duel, all of the barrier statues minus the wind one are completely legal at 3. For those who don't know, the barrier statues are a series of level 4 monsters with 1,000 attack and defense, which stop both players from special summoning monsters, except monsters that match the attribute of the statue on the field.
This is like, I'm the barrier statue defenders, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, just attack it. Just attack it. It's so easy, right? Literally just, well, some decks don't work like that. Some decks don't work like that. I don't know what to tell you. I will try to make a going second version of that. Could ever, huh? But then I could never use it against you. Oh, well, yeah, probably not. The Dread statues. Hello, Hector. Yeah, we're watching some top 10 decks that were only good in Master Duel. I'm really curious about it since I don't know much outside of Master Duel.
With one statue for each attribute except Divine. But this is not where it ends.
Oh yeah. You can do more things to make it like more annoying. Ways to protect this, increasing its attack, or like some kind of protection. Because what happens if you draw the right card, you just regeki this, right? But it's usually set with other boards that have like a lot of other cringe stuff, right? It's not just this, right? It's always something else. So yeah.
As the deck also runs Fossil Dynapachycephalo and Inspector Border as
Oh my
extra
god.
floodgates. To protect all of these game-winning monsters, the deck plays a variety of back row options, including Solemn Judgment, Super Polymerization, Iron Thunder, and even Mirror Force. To further increase the amount of stun options, the deck also runs Macrocosmos and the most unusual one, Clockwork Knight.
Dude, this one is like one of the most. It makes like 1,000 difference. So you need a monster with over 2,000 attack in order to out this thing, because it makes a 1,000 attack difference, right? It increases your thing and it decreases the opponent's one. So how are you gonna normal summon a monster with 2,000 attack? It's just so stupid.
That card makes all face-up monsters on the field machine type, meaning any
Goblin
deck
attack
that
for
relies
shut
on
up,
monster
dude.
types can get completely shut out of the game. At first glance, it might seem like the deck would have a bad time going second, but since none of its monsters have activated effects, the deck can run all of the different Dominus trap cards and have anything between 3 and 15 hands.
I never seen Dominus Spark. What is this? During that turn, which your opponent has activated a monster effect in the hand or graveyard, you can activate this card from your hand, target one monster your opponent controls, banish it. What? Your opponent can special summon one monster from their hand? What? I've never seen this card. Paper only card? Oof. Okay.
Traps. Oh, and it can also run the one-off Dimensional Shifter that's still around. There are also quite a few cards it can run for consistency. Besides Pot of Desires, Duality, and Extravagance, the matches here usually take multiple turns to end, so the deck can run a timed Terran Morganite.
That's the worst part. It doesn't even have a win condition. That's the worst part with these decks. To make it consistent in annoyance, it doesn't have a win condition.
To draw 2 cards during each turn and slowly out-resource the opponent. So far, all of this is just a surface look at the depths you can reach when making the opponent not have a good time becomes your win condition. Banisher of the Radiance, Dimension Fortress Weapon, Summoning Curse, and countless others are all options that are slightly weaker than the current ones, but the fact that they exist means that even if the stun cards mentioned here ever get banned, you can still find ways to not play Yu-Gi-Oh! And win. And at number 7, we have Crooked Cook Stall.
Yeah.
This is another case of a deck that...
At least this one has a win condition. At least this one has a win condition. And it doesn't stop your opponent from playing the game. It is just a tower. And there are ways to deal with this. Like, I respect this way more than... No, actually, no. I don't respect Barrier Stun. This I kinda understand. This one I kinda understand.
Really benefits from a best of one format. The objective of stall is to simply stall the game until it reaches its win condition. That condition being either Final Countdown or Exodia the Forbidden One. To achieve this, the deck needs to survive multiple...
Yeah, no, that's why I used it. I wanted to understand it. That's why I used it.
...turns of the opponent trying to win the game, and the best way to stop that from happening is through number 59, Crooked Cook. This is a rank 4 Fire Warrior with 2300 attack and 0 defense. That, while you control no other cards on the field, is unaffected by other card effects. Being unaffected is a good start for a stalling option, making this removable only by something like a Kaiju or by battle. But there is one option the deck runs that makes this card ideal for stalling. By using the level 4 Water Fish Buzzsaw Shark, you can special summon one fish monster from the deck. The target in this deck being another level 4 fish, Right Hand Shark. By using this card with Buzzsaw Shark for your Cook, you meet the condition for Right Hand Shark to give the XC that uses it as a material the effect where it cannot be destroyed by battle. This way, you...
Which means that basically it is invincible. It is invincible. However, if you have a monster with piercing damage, this thing has 200 defense. With piercing damage, you can out this like really easily. You know, you don't out it, you just win by attacking. You all can also attack directly, right? You can also summon something on your opponent's field. There are ways around it. I know some decks simply don't have an out, but there are options.
You now have a cook that is both unaffected by other card effects and can't be destroyed by battle. Removing one of the few weaknesses a tower's monster has made this deck a nightmare to deal with. Because this is not one of the most common strategies around, most players don't come prepared with a kaiju to deal with Cook. It's a dynamic very unique to Master Duel where the side deck doesn't exist, so deck lists are less likely to be tuned to deal with rare scenarios. That doesn't mean this card is completely invincible though. Cook needs to be put into defense position so you don't get chipped away by monsters with more than 2300 attack. And with 0 defense, it's very vulnerable
not zero
to
defense.
piercing damage. White Forest can randomly be well matched into this deck thanks to Silvera, giving your illusion and spellcaster synchro monsters double piercing damage.
It's a one thing that you really don't think about, right? Some decks you have monsters that do piercing damage and you don't even, it never comes up, but sometimes some decks have it. I don't know.
Branded and its variants can also use Sanctifier to put monsters on your opponent's board and turn
Daruma Karma Cannon also out. Yeah, but like who's running Daruma Karma Cannon? Let's be honest here. Hello, that one Afro. Hello, welcome to stream. There are like lab players. Yeah, at least not. I haven't seen a lab player in months. Now that I think about it, I feel like I haven't seen one in months. So, but yeah, no. I know that there are some decks or some archetypes and decks that are more prepared than others, right? But it's just a situational thing. You don't really think about it.
Turn off Cook's protection. As you can see, there are a number of different ways this invincible monster can die before we even get to the kaijus. And because the goal of the deck is stalling, the opponent will have more than enough time to set up their out if they see it. And at number 6...
What do you mean this is why we have Blaze Falcon? Just use Glorious Right? I don't know. Trust it will work? Okay.
6, we have Pure Numeron. A lot has already been said about how unexpected strategies can benefit from a best-of-1 format. But the one type of deck that also does and hasn't been mentioned before on this list is a blind second OTK strategy. As a
what? A what? Okay, wait, hold on. Numeron has played Master Duel as a blind second OTK. Okay, chat. Okay, hold on. You know, I've seen this deck before, but it doesn't really feel like a blind second deck. It's just a meme deck, right? Thank you so much for the follow, Delvet. Thank you so much. Welcome to the stream. A whole new world. Not a good climate for lab. People will try it again when Dominus Park arrives, probably. If there are 10 lab players, I'm one of them. If there is one lab player, it's me. If there are 0 lab players, then I am no longer in this world. Number 1 automated blind second bot deck. Dude, I should do this. I should do this just for the memes, unironically. Okay, how do I say this? This feels like a meme. It does 8,000 damage, right? It can out a lot of stuff. I don't know what exactly are the conditions in order to make this work, but we can try it. Maybe we can try it because is it cheap? Does it have many URs? We can maybe try it instead of trying our blind second hero deck. We can try this.
Representative of this type of deck, I've picked one that has been presented in Master Duel since its inception, Numeron. As a blind going second OTK deck, the goal is to go second, break the opponent's board, and kill them immediately. It does this by using Numeron Network to copy the effect of Numeron Calling and special summon 4 Numeron Gate Xyz monsters.
Okay.
Each gate has 1000 attack, can't be destroyed by battle, and has the effect of doubling the attack of all of your Numeron monsters until the end of the turn if it's battled an opponent's monster, giving the deck a total of 16,000.
Huh? You know, this at the end of the damage step. 16,000 damage in one turn. How? Wait, hold on. Isn't this like 1,000, then 2,000, then 4,000, then 8,000? How does it get to a detachment material? Because it's at the end of the damage step, right? It doesn't even need to use materials as a field spell removes a restriction. Oh, the funniest engine ever. 16k damage, read my 8k life points. Okay, I will have to look into this. Okay, I know what we're doing now on Friday. I guess this is what we're doing on Friday. So we will see how that works, right? Because I've seen this, but I never thought, my brain didn't connect that this is a blind second deck. Yeah, this is basically just bad tempai though. I know it's bad tempai, but it's funny. It's funny.
Damage with just the field spell. Since the deck prefers going second, it can play a variety of generic board breakers to chew through boards.
Oh, my favorite.
Forbidden Droplet, Ultimate Slayer, and Lightning Storm are some of the options the deck can run.
Yeah, exactly. This is why I will play it. Because I like to play this type of cards. These type of cards are my favorites. That's why I will play this. Not because of this, but because of this, you know? It's like having my Predaplan in my blind second Predaplan deck. I just run Predaplans because there is so many of them that I don't play that many board breakers. But I want to play the board breakers, so making a smaller engine for damage makes more sense. But Tempai is funny Tempai, yeah!
Detail here is that in Master Duel, Red Reboot was also available in multiple copies for a long time. So
it's a
even
dude right
against
now.
trap decks, the deck could just win on the spot. By playing max copies of Numeron Wall and Planet Pathfinder, the deck effectively had 9 copies of Numeron Network for the OTK. And when
I think at some point I had Numeron Network. I don't know if this is the UR. If it was UR, I probably dismantle it. The deck even has a 100,000 attack monster that wins you the game if it is an attack at the end of the opponent's turn. Yeah, but that feels like way harder to summon. That's way harder to summon.
When first, activating Numeron Network can still give you 4 monsters worth of materials for a board. A fun option the deck had in the OCG was number as 0 Utopic Zexal.
What?
Since the Numeron Gates are number monsters of the same rank and could be used to summon this card. With Zexal in the field, you could, as a quick effect, stop your opponent from activating cards and effects for the turn, and then kill them on the following turn. Instead, in Master Duel, you could use all of them to summon Infinite Track Fortress Megaclops.
Wait, is that allowed?
Machine with 4,000 attack, which is unaffected by other monster effects, or before it got banned, an Appaloosa with 4 materials.
Okay,
Numeron
doesn't
and
exist
blind
anymore.
going second decks as a whole are becoming weaker by the day.
No.
Even with going second options getting better, going first boards are also getting stronger. So the drawbacks of having a weaker turn 1 become harder and harder to justify. And at number 5...
So true. We are the most oppressed minority in Master Duel. The going second deck. Yeah.
We have Sprite Gishki. The Sprite side of this deck hardly
Sprite
needs an
Gishki.
introduction.
I've only seen this in events. I've never seen anyone actually play this. I've only seen it in events.
Type of level, rank, and link 2 monsters can supplement any deck that has a good level 2. Providing extension with the effects to summon themselves if you control a level 2 or link 2 monster, and interruptions with both Sprite Carrot and Sprite Red. Gishki, on the other hand, is a much older archetype. As one of the earliest ritual archetypes around, its cards have a ton of effects that make up for some of the flaws in ritual summoning, such as the card disadvantage that comes from performing a ritual summon. Because of that, many of their initial cards lacked a once per turn clause, resulting in probably one of the funniest FTKs ever, where you can mill your opponent's entire deck with Dark World dealings by looping it with Yugioh Mind August.
I think I heard about this.
The combination of these archetypes came with the release of Gishki Grimness, a level 2 that can special summon another Gishki from the deck. By using that to bring out Gishki Abyss, you could search any of your monsters that can discard themselves to search a ritual monster or ritual spell, and also have 2 level 2s for a gigantic sprite. Adding to that, the Gishki monsters also have effects that let them meet the entire ritual requirements for any water ritual monster, making almost any combination of them in your hand a ritual summon. As for the rituals, the best summon target by far is Yugioh Naramanas, a ritual monster which can bring out a monster from the graveyard, and as a quick effect, bounce a Gishki ritual back to the hand to negate the activation of a monster effect and shuffle it back into the deck. A big advantage this deck had in Master Duel over the TCG was the presence of Sprite Elf. With Elf, you could easily loop Gishki Abyss for multiple searches on your turn, and another during your opponent's turn, all while having that nice...
Dude, this is why... not like when there's no once per turn clause and stuff, this is when it gets weird. Like, every card should have that by default, I think. Like, when cards don't have that, it becomes toxic. Like, usually when there is like some toxic deck like that, like an FTK or something, it's because of something like that. Definitely. Like, I feel like it wasn't intended to be like that.
Targeting protection effect on your pointed
And
mark.
no. I'm not gonna take any slander against Sky Striker maneuver. I think engage. I feel like that was designed like that on purpose because it makes sense. It makes sense if it's a Sky Striker. If it's anything else, then it's bad design. Okay.
Monsters. To top it off, one of the few non-ritual spells of the archetype, Focus Aqua Mirror, can, during the end phase, set Aqua Mirror Illusion, a trap that allows the player to summon a Gishki ritual from the hand at no cost.
What do you mean engage should be a once per turn? If engage was a once per turn, then the deck would just be bad. It would be non-existent. Actually, no, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be bad, but it definitely wouldn't be as good. Like, it wouldn't be near meta at any point. There is no way.
You can then bounce your Naramanas back to the hand and use the illusion to give your board another monster negate and another special summon from the graveyard. Although vulnerable to pretty much every single hand trap under the sun, the deck still has some gas to it. Elf is just as powerful now as it was on release, and though it might be easy to forget since it's so generic and sees play in a lot of different decks, it is a sprite card at the end of the day. And at number 4...
Okay, hold on. Before we go to the next one, have you seen the spells today? What do you mean? I kinda like when older decks get the abuse that non-once per turn effects. What are we watching today? Well, we're watching a bunch of stuff, don't worry. We can talk about the other videos after this one. Sprite F, my favorite Tearlament card. Okay, let's just watch.
4, we have Tearlament's Fiendsmith Gem Knights.
This, I cannot believe this wasn't good outside Master Duel. There is no way this isn't good outside Master Duel. What?
Sometimes Horus and Fairies as well. In the last format where you can play Tearlament's Kid Colossus, we have perhaps the biggest pile of synergies you can get in a single deck. The idea behind this is quite simple. Maximize the amount of graveyard effects in your list and either try to extend past any interruption going first, or keep pushing through boards going second. Technically, you can play versions of this in other formats, but nowhere else do you have access to the multiple banned bridges between archetypes that the deck uses in Master Duel. Between the three main archetypes, Gem Knights are probably the least known one.
How is that a bridge?
This pile is the newest wave of support, with a highlight of Gem Knight and
yeah, I've only seen like Tearlament's players play this card in particular, not other Gem Knights. I don't know. Pot of Slot, we're gonna talk about it when it comes to Master Duel, because I feel like that card will be particularly good in Master Duel. I don't know. I miss the Fiendsmith format. Stop playing right. Well, you can always come back and play it yourself.
Think of this card as a Tearlament's Rhino Heart in a coat. It can, on normal or special summon, add any Gem Knight card, including Gem Knight Fusion, from your deck to your hand. With access to Fusion, you can summon Gem Knight Amethyst by sending any one Gem Knight and an Aqua monster from your deck as materials to the graveyard. In other words, any of your Tearlament monsters can give you access to another engine, while also giving you 2 bodies you can use for Moon of the Closed Heaven.
I understand.
Which can then get you into Fiendsmith lines. And of course, this is not even talking about Neprim's second effect to special summon itself from the graveyard by sending 1 card from your hand to the grave. I could also mention that this part of the deck can access an Omni Negate in Gem Knight Hollow Core. But in broad strokes, the Gem Knight part of the deck works by simply printing bodies so you can do whatever you want. On the Fiendsmith side, above everything else, Moon of the Closed Heaven still being legal is what makes the combination possible.
Wait, blind second lab Fiendsmith? What? Do you have a deck list for that? I'm really curious. That sounds super cursed, yeah.
To the rank 6 pull you get from Lacrima, Summoning Engraver can either improve your end board with a DDD Wave High.
Oh my god.
Or provide extension through the mill.
This is another card that I hate. This is also not once per turn, right? It just needs 2 materials, it negates 2 summons. Insane. Absolutely insane.
5 of Pilgrim Reaper. As the backbone of all these engines, the Tearlaments are the one archetype that can best take advantage of being sent to the graveyard by all of these effects. Their effects to fusion summon from the grave can turn any effect that sends cards there into a snowball effect of engines. Tearlament's Kid Colossus in particular is still as good of a card today as it was on release. With such a huge variety of graveyard effects available, milling 5 random cards still has the potential to win games by itself. This triad of archetypes is also simply the baseline you can achieve with this deck. In this soup of banned cards, the only ceiling is the imagination of the person playing it. And at number 3, we have the Millennium Engine. Rather than talking about Millennium as a full deck, in the context of Master Duel, this archetype should be discussed as an engine. This engine of 3 Sengenjin, 1 Wedju Temple, and 1 Golem is used by a variety of decks as an enabler for rank 8 plays. Specifically, the Zombie Vampire. With the Zombie Vampire, you can detach 1 material, and each player sends the top 4 cards from their deck to the graveyard. Then you can special summon 1 monster from amongst the 4 cards milled. The idea is pretty simple. You use your Millennium cards to make this XC and hope it mills another engine card that you can use, with the side bonus of also learning what your opponent is playing in their engine when their cards get milled.
Information.
You might be asking how a level 8 and a level 6 end up making a rank 8. The reason is simple. With Wedju Temple, you can put 2 monsters, 1 from your hand and 1 Millennium from your deck as face-up continuous spell cards on your side of the field. This is the exact amount you need to send as materials to special summon the level 8 fusion Snake Eyes Doom Dragon from your extra deck. It's a very intuitive engine. Sengenjin searches Golem and Golem searches the field spell. The strategies using this are the ones that benefit from the graveyard, with Orcus and Fiendsmith being the first ones to come to mind, since they benefit both from being in the graveyard and from being summoned. But instead, I want to mention a brief period in 2025 where this engine was used in a lot of different decks. During this time, you could of course play Millennium as intended, with Super Polymerization and a side of stun through Dimensional Shifter, Macrocosmos, and Dimensional Fissure. But it wasn't uncommon to see the Sengenjin into the Zombie Vampire line used in completely different decks, such as Adamancipator, White Forest, Duel, or the most oppressive of them all, Snake Eyes. With the limits to both Ash and Original, the deck had both the space and extra synergy with the monsters being transformed into face-up spells thanks to its own field spell and Poplar's graveyard effect. That gave it the perfect place for a consistency engine that only took 1 slot from the extra deck.
Alright. Hello, the local gamer. People who play heavy meta in a non-competitive event in Master Duel need to go back in rank, because why am I going Agent, Castira, K9, Finsmith, Slop while trying to play trains? Some people just want their gems. What can I tell you? I don't know. Some people just want to get their gems as soon as possible so they can go back to rank, right? I feel like that makes sense to me. At the end of the day, the objective is to win. So let's say I want to play another meta deck because I'm a meta ship, right? I want my meta slop and I need more packs. So what I'm gonna do is go to the event and farm gems as soon as possible with the best deck possible. I get it. If you got no jobs, you only get... Huh? I get it. If you got no jobs, you only get 1200 gems. It's not that serious. No jobs. I remember just watching a friend try to run Chaos Max and slam right into big cash player. Classic Kashtira players ruining the fun for everyone.
Consistency, I believe, is one of the main reasons why Millennium as an engine was more popular in Master Duel compared to the TCG. When you only need to win once, getting access to more things in your deck shifts the priorities in deck building a bit. The other reason is much more mundane. The card that enables all of this was Snake Eyes Doom Dragon, which was released in the OCG in October 26, 2024, but only came to the TCG on January 24, 2025. That is a common 3-month window, but between those months, in December, a certain set called Crossover Breakers introduced Malice, Yugioh, and Ryziel to the TCG. And well, let's just say those decks took the spotlight for a couple of months. And at number 2...
Malice Jamsker. Well, most heavy meta players, that is. No, I understand what you mean. Don't worry about it. Dude,
2, we have Kashtira.
Kashtira wasn't good in outside of Master Duel? There is no way. There is absolutely no way. Kashtira was good. Kashtira has always been good. There is how... Huh? The side deck really makes a lot of these decks unplayable in paper. Kashtira? You only get 1200 gems and Dreadnought and the Dreadnought title. Yeah? Yeah, no, I understand. Huh? I thought Kashtira was good. What the hell?
This entry is perhaps one of the biggest beneficiaries of the shared banlist philosophy in Master Duel. On both sides of the paper formats, Kashtira was a deck loved and hated in equal measure. Unicorn had a painfully unique interaction of picking and banishing face down a card from your opponent's.
I don't think this video is talking about currently. I think this deck is talking about the history of Master Duel, right? Because I've never seen Gishki, and these other decks are like not right now. I think. Oops! I didn't see the last one.
It's extra deck if they dare to use a monster effect. Fenrir pushed the line of what a board breaker monster should do, and their boss monster, Kashtira Arise Heart, was a macrocosmos on legs with a quick effect banish. So what makes this deck enter the list? If you look at the ban list of both paper formats, in the TCG, Kashtira has most of its cards unlimited, with only Arise Heart banned. In the OCG, Arise Heart is unbanned, but Unicorn is at 1 and Fenrir is much more restricted. In both formats, you can technically still play Kashtira, but with some clear downsides.
Okay.
All the main deck monsters, but no boss monster in the TCG.
Oh. Okay. Well, obviously it's not good because it's banned. Because Arise Heart is banned. It's banned because it's so good. That's why. Okay, well, obviously. Okay, I'm not crazy then. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. It is extremely good. That's why it's banned. That's why it's not good anymore, because it's banned. Yeah, okay. I've seen Gishki on release was played with sprites. Yeah, exactly. Because we're talking about the history of Master Duel, right? At some point, all of this have been good in Master Duel. But right now, Gishki is like, it's non-existent, basically. Yeah, okay.
And the boss monster, but no main deck monsters in the OCG. However, in Master Duel, with its marriage of formats, the hits to Kashtira are different. Pressured Planted Racewalth, their field spell, is at 1, and Kashtira Unicorn is at 2. So, between two formats with different ban list philosophies, Kashtira got the best of both worlds in Master Duel. This is the only place where you can play the closest version of full power that the deck currently has access to. Playing Arise Heart versus a deck that relies on the graveyard can still win the game on the spot. And with today's card pool, you can even make an arguably stronger version of Kashtira by playing Diabellstar into Dark Magician of Destruction,
What the hell?
letting you end on Dragoon, plus Azamina Lily Sylvia without even going into your Kashtira cards. Looking at
Was
this
that 2 Omni negates? That's crazy.
way, this might represent a different version of what Master Duel can be. A place where you can still play your favorite decks after they get hit by a ban list or fall out of favor for other reasons. And at number 1, we have a deck that could only exist in Master Duel.
I'm so curious. Only exist on Master Duel? What could it be?
A deck so unique that even when losing, you would win.
What?
The deck I'm talking about is Self TK.
Okay, come on. This is not a real deck. Come on. Okay, the real answer is Kashtira, I guess, because... No, Kashtira doesn't even feel like a real answer, because of course, the Arise Heart is banned. The real answer then is like Millennium one. The Millennium Engine. Because this is not a real deck.
A long time ago, around the release of
Wait, how is this good? We're talking about we're only good. This is not good. That is the point, right? That's why it's a self-TK.
Master Duel, the way you gain rewards was a bit different than it is now. For example, in events today, you have a point ladder that you climb by winning, with each being 500 points for a win and a loss being worth 10. But back in the day, when you won a game, you would only get 100 points, while if you lost a game without surrendering, you would still get 50 points. It should also be mentioned that losing without conceding gave you a tiny bit of battle pass experience and could complete some daily missions. Players then quickly figured out that the most efficient way to farm events was by reducing their own life points to end matches faster.
Well, good for gem grinding. Yeah, I mean, if you put it like that, you can say like every deck is good for some specific purpose. But when we're watching a video about Master Duel and it says that the decks are good, what I assume is that they are good at winning games, right? That's the main thing. If we're talking about just good in general, I assume it's good at winning games, not losing them faster.
Ways of doing this were varied. First, you would use cards that have life points as their costs, such as Garbage Lord, Cybernetic Fusion Support, and UA Signing Deal, with the level 7 UA Dreadnought Dunker as the target to reduce your life points by as much as possible. Then, since you cannot pay a cost that reduce your life points to 0, the other side of the deck used self-burn effects to close out the combo, such as the burn from Perform Without Popper-Upper if you couldn't special summon, or a simple Ring of Destruction at the first available window. And this is only the simple way to do it. Some events have different conditions to speed up your progress. In the latest Dice Rally, you had the bonus criteria for activating a quick play spell, summoning a light monster, or summoning a level 7 or higher monster, each being worth 50 points. So, to quickly complete these objectives, you would still perform the self-decay. You can add a Preparation of Rites to your deck together with Incantation Chalice Slime, taking 2500 damage by failing to summon a ritual monster after activating Chalice Slime.
This is what we were talking about. This is exactly what we were talking about. In events, it's just a completely different game. The objective is like so different sometimes. Like I feel like obviously the best way to climb on that is just to be good at the game and just beat your opponents every time, like consistently. So I feel like the best strategy is just to be good at the game. I don't know what to tell you, right? Play the best possible deck and win the fastest so you can go back to ranked, right? Obviously.
Or you could search Primate Roar with Primate Lordy Lord and then use it to summon a level 7 or higher light normal monster, meeting all of the extra conditions while lowering your life points. A win-win combo. Except of course you're trying to lose. Each Dice Rally event comes with its own conditions for extra points. And with those
usually visible despite its phantom existence. Existence? I think that's what it says.
Conditions come new and unique ways of losing on purpose. A past one had extra conditions.
Wait, what did I just read? When I blow myself when I blow myself up, I feel like a winner. So true.
For summoning dark monsters and using continuous spells. So, as a little challenge, try to think of a way you can kill yourself while meeting both of those bonus conditions. I can't think of a similar situation in Yu-Gi-Oh! Where something became more beneficial than winning.
It is unique.
The type of thing
I will
that
give you
can
that.
only happen as an oversight in a digital card game. To combat this, since it basically created a portion of the player base that did not actually play the game, Konami simply reduced what you would get from losing, from 50 points in events to 10. So, while you could still try, it would take 5 times more effort than before. And at that point, you might as well just play the game normally and try to win.
Alright, that was a really cool video. Maybe, is there something that was forgotten here? I cannot talk about this that much. I'm like surprised. It was a very informative video. Because I don't know much about Master Duel. About rather Yu-Gi-Oh! Outside of Master Duel. So this was very surprising to me. A lot of these were very surprising. I had no idea. Some were obvious, right? Like this one, for example. More obvious than others. Because yeah, no side deck means that these like strategies are better. So yeah. Yeah. New insult unlock self-decay now. Self-FTK now! Right now! Okay.